coached at Mount St. Joe's and Boys Latin, owner and founder of Crabs Lacrosse, Ryan McClernan. Welcome to the Crease.
Coach.
Okay. What made you decide that you wanted to start a club?
In 1990, GW Mix and Brian Matthews, I think Brian Matthews was working at Navy at the time, started the very first camp that was team-based. So instead of going and doing drills and skills, you went as a team and competed in a team as champ camp. And it was at Goucher, and I was involved in that very first year coaching the MSA All-Stars. And it was such a fun experience getting all these great kids together after the tough spring that we kind of kept it going the next year and, kept on going up till today.
So how have you seen the club scene just explode? In lacrosse, it's just really grown, especially in this area.
Yes, it's a virtual explosion. I think originally, club was kind of brought together to be just kind of the best of the best playing against each other and competing. And then I think each level of player, unfortunately, that wasn't able to make a group, they came up with a club team for them, and now there's double A, there's elite, there's A, there's B, there's quite a few levels of club lacrosse now, so it's just going crazy. Everybody wants to be in club.
Okay, speaking of the levels and all that kind of thing, what I think is kind of cool, one of the things is, how do you think, do you like the grade base, or do you like the U13, U14? For club, how do you like that for the boys?
That's a tough one. I'm a big grade based. We have a wide range of students in this area because of the private schools with pre-first, and then you have some reclassification that's occurring now for multitude of reasons, not just sports, but multitude of reasons. So the grade allows, a little bit more leeway for birthdays and boys being in different age groups. I do think there needs to be some kind of stratosphere, though, from the high end of age to the low end of age.
Camps. There's a lot of camps out there. A lot of kids are getting, things, come to my camp, come to this. These coaches are going to be here. These coaches, you need to be seen. What is your feeling on, what would you tell the kids? Should they go to these camps? Are there some good ones? What do you think?
I think the most important thing would be to say to the player, and then also that player's parents, be a good consumer. Not everything is equal, and marketing materials nowadays are fantastic. Stuff comes to you and you feel like you're very special and you're the only one that's been invited to this camp, and it's gone to 6,000 people in the hopes that they get 600 attendees. So be a good consumer. There are some wonderful places to attend, and with a little bit of work, you'll find the right spot for you.
Dual sport athletes. Is that important to you? Is it a big thing for Crabs and other clubs?
Absolutely. You hear a lot about single sport specialization, and I just don't see it in this area. At Crabs, most of our guys are three sports athletes. We have a lot of football, basketball, lacrosse guys. There's a lot of soccer, basketball, lacrosse guys. We have a lot of three sport athletes in our club, and the more time you spend on the field or the court, the better athlete you're going to be, the better player you're going to be.
Rec for some, club for some. What's your feeling on rec and club? Because club's kind of taken over for the rec. Do you still see there's a place for rec with club?
Yes, Coach. I think rec is huge and very valuable to a multitude of players. And I think an unfortunate consequence, an unintended consequence of club lacrosse has been it's eaten so deep into the talent pool or that it's dug into what might be a traditional rec player. And I worry that it's going to keep kids from getting involved in lacrosse. If you're a seventh grader and you can't play with your buddies that are on a club team, you don't go and play for rec anymore. You're just like, well, I've missed my window. And that's not true. And I would say that to anybody out there. If you're a seventh or eighth grader and you're athletic and you want to try lacrosse, get out there and play rec lacrosse, and it will be a fun experience for you for sure.
Okay, I got two more questions and I'll
Great.
get you out of the crease.
I
Okay.
feel good.
Okay. What do you think about the recruiting? It's getting younger and younger. What do you tell to your people? How important is the recruiting? What do you think about today's recruiting?
I tell my players to play. The better they play, the better things will work out for them. And if they don't focus on being, getting caught up in a recruiting type situation, they'll be more attractive to college coaches. Be a good teammate, play very, very hard every time that they take the field, show great body language, that things will work out for them fine. Early recruiting, it's a phenomenon. Does it last? I don't know if it continues to last or doesn't continue to last. I think the boys, everybody will survive.
Last thing for you. What are you trying to get out for your boys? What do you want them to get out of this whole club, the Crabs experience? What do you want them to get out of it?
I think we're focused. I think we are a practice first, play second club. We don't run around and play game after game after game. We try to practice, 3 times to every one kind of outing. So I want our guys to become better technical players, better tactical, learn more about the game, and then to become good men. We have a lot of life lessons that take place on a lacrosse field, just like on the court or a football field. And we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that our boys are, compassionate. And we have a saying in the club that goes back a real long time. It's cool to care. And there's a great speech behind that. Maybe someday I'll be able to share it with you.
Coach, thank you for coming in the Crease.
Thank you.